let's talk about Sony. Now, Nintendo is infamous, and everybody knows this. Nintendo will claim the hell out of you for the dumbest reasons imaginable. For all of their greatness on their games or first party titles and how long they've been doing this, their reaction to all of their community and the people that want to play and promote their games is pretty bad, and they really don't understand the internet. Well, yesterday, Sony copyright took down a Nintendo game from the eShop, which was kind of hilarious. Now, if you've been following all the gaming news, you probably know about this Last of Us ripoff that was in the eShop. It was a really bad knockoff in terms of just the imagery around the game. If you actually played the game, I didn't play it, but I watched people that played the game. There are some questions
You're
as
talking
to
about The Last Hope, right?
yes,
The Last
there
Hope,
are
yeah.
some questions about like, is this really that much of a ripoff or not? But on the surface, it was 100% a knockoff. So right here it says The Last of Us knockoff removed from Nintendo eShop as Sony stakes
Wow.
copyright claim. So like right here, you see this is the two main characters. Obviously, that doesn't look like Joel, but that sure enough looks like Ellie. That really looks like Ellie a lot. And like, look at that. Look, that's the cover right there. That's the cover.
The Last Hope.
Come on, man. The Last Hope, Dead Zone Survival, The Last of Us ripoff that turned up on the Nintendo eShop last month has been removed for sale. Additionally, trailers of the game have been taken down due to copyright claims made by Sony. If you head to The Last of Us, The Last Hope's Nintendo eShop store page now, you'll see, you will instead be greeted by a 404 message and a generic image of Star Fox's peppy hair, which is actually more pleasing on the whatever. Okay, shut up.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, right here. Meanwhile, when I search for The Last of Us, he wants to say The Last of Us. When I search for The Last Hope on my Switch, I got directed to Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope. I can, of course, still play The Last Hope Dead Zone Survival as I previously bought and downloaded it, although I doubt I ever will again. Eurogamer has contacted both Sony and Nintendo for further comment. So the funny part of this whole thing is, just so you understand, the Nintendo eShop, you could get pretty much anything that's not, I guess, adult content uploaded to the eShop. If you have a functional game and if it works and you have, basically the bare minimum, the Nintendo eShop is going to approve your game. That's just how it works. There's a ton of independent video games on the eShop, and a lot of them sell very, very well. This game in particular, I don't know how much I can show of The Last Hope. So right here, this is still up, so I guess I'll show a little bit here. They're claiming videos, so I don't know. I guess
Wow, yeah, don't do that. Then.
Now, I wonder if you
I'm just going to show still shots.
If you already bought the game, if you can still play
it. He just said it in that article. You can still play it.
Oh, okay.
But the imagery, I mean, the imagery is
this
pretty,
is like getting GoBots when you wanted Transformers.
Yeah, I mean, like,
even though I love my GoBots,
it's pretty bad. Like, look at that. That's crazy right there. So again, I had heard about this game about a month ago, and it was getting memed on. It was getting roasted, and now it has been taken down. So again, the funny part of all this is just how bad Nintendo is about this stuff. And now Sony and Naughty Dog, which we all know how terrible Naughty Dog is. Terrible. And now here we are with this.
I love how they use the heavy, diverse cast. So they're like, maybe they won't take it down if we use a heavy woman, black man.
Yep.
They won't touch that, right?
Yeah, clearly.
I think it's hilarious. I wonder if they made enough money to... like it's not going to affect
I don't
the people
think
that made the game.
I think this is a very, very, very small independent studio that probably had a very small budget around it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did it download enough to where they're like, well, we made some money, so whatever.
I will say I'll tell you this. A lot of press coverage. It got a lot of press coverage from YouTubers.
Yeah, but dude, that's the new media.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's the new media. It's I will say this, that if they did turn a profit, probably can expect a lot of copycat stuff. happening for the same thing. It's like you can make a low budget, crappy looking game. Enough people will buy it before it gets taken down, and off we go. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about making money. So that's just part of life. When you have a good product, people are going to plagiarize it.
I guess I just wonder, like, what's the line here? Because from what I understand of the game, like, yeah, the imagery, the marketing, that element obviously was very much a copycat. But from what I understand, the game itself really didn't copy The Last of Us that much. From what I understand.
Well, then,
but
yeah,
I
then
didn't play
there's
it.
got to be a line, because if somebody wants to make a zombie game featuring a guy and a girl, I mean,
Yeah.
are they all going to be taken down?
We see a lot of this with different characters that inspire characters that are iconic, things like that. I mean, let's be real. I mean, I think we all get that Homelander is just a bad version of Superman, but he has his own kind of story and everything like that. He's clearly inspired by Superman, just in a different way, but there's a clear distinction there as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little too on the nose. It's a little too on the nose, and I think that's where, you know, it was a gray area where, well, not really a gray area, but you couldn't get away with it because it was too on the nose. The name, the character, that is Ellie, and they're not even trying to pretend, because her name in this game is Eve. So it's like Ellie and Eve. Really? Two names that start with E, and it's like the father figure, the whole daughter figure and everything. Just, it was too on the nose. It was a zombie game, and the zombies in it were infected by a fungus. That's the same thing as Last of Us. Last of Us,
Yeah.
those walkers are from a spore fungal infection or whatever. So it was way too on the nose. I think it's hilarious though, because the game looks like shit.
It looks terrible.
The game looks terrible. It looks like a PS2 game. And say what you want about the Switch's, you know, software. Like, I think games run pretty damn well on Switch. Like when you play Smash or Mario Kart, those games look great. But I mean,
well, you have to ask yourself too about parity laws and how that works too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
there's always going to be knockoffs and parodies, but it's like, you know, where do you draw the line before you get struck? Now, if Sony oversteps their bounds and messed up on the parody laws, is this little company able to go back and say, hey,
Eve is gay, by the way, in the game? Holy crap, that's pretty. Yeah,
they
but
checked
like,
every single box, man. They didn't want it taken down, man. They're like,
it's way too on the nose. Way too on the nose. Well, yeah, Eve is gay, but the thing is the character that she's literally being ripped off of, Ellie is gay in her games.
well, that's what he's saying. So it's way on the nose. I would say
way
this.
Too on the nose.
Could you imagine a world where, like, the Nintendo Wii releases with motion and changes the industry, and then Sony and Xbox, you know, copy that with something called the PlayStation Move, or they can, oh wait, that did happen, didn't it? So copycat nature is all over the place. But when you get right down to it, I do see the clear difference in the PlayStation Move and the Kinect versus the Wii and all of that versus this. I was reading the article. I couldn't stop saying The Last of Us because it was like that on point. It was that on the nose. Nintendo kind of getting hit with their own medicine. Funny to see it all play out.